Okay, so today we are going to learn about adverbial clause that indicates purpose. So first things first, a clause has subject, verb, but there is dependent clause, which is a complete sentence, and there is dependent clause. Independent clause is a sentence and dependent clause is not a sentence. And so we have talked about three kinds of dependent clauses, which is noun, adjective, and today's adverbial. Okay, so our adverb clauses have subordinating conjunctions in front that makes it dependent. And today we are looking at purpose subordinators. So we have two kinds. One is so that, the other is in order that. So they are interchangeable. They mean the same thing. As you can see here, farmers use chemical pesticides so that they can get higher crop yields for the purpose, right? In order to get higher crop yields. Or we can actually put our dependent clause first in order that consumers can enjoy unblemished fruits. Unblemished meaning it's perfect. There's no flaw. And vegetables, farmers also spray their fields. So we can see that whenever we put our dependent clause first, we need our introducer comma. Whereas when our independent clause goes first, we do not need the introducer comma. Okay, so now we're going to try and combine the sentences. So for number one, we're going to match it with E. Chemists create food products in a laboratory so that consumers can have substitutes for scarce, expensive, or fattening natural foods. What about number two? For example, an artificial food called bacon bits was invented. So why was it invented? The purpose is for consumers to enjoy the taste of bacon. So I can say, artificial food called bacon bits was invented in order that consumers could enjoy the taste of bacon without the fat. Okay, so it matches with F. What about number three? Number three says chemicals are added to many foods. So why are they added to many foods? One of the purposes could be that the foods will stay fresh longer. So of course we can say chemicals are added in order that the foods will stay fresh longer. Number four. Most farmers use chemical fertilizers and pesticides. So why do they use that? So that insects don't come and eat their crops. They can get more crops in the end. So that is a match with B. Most farmers use chemical fertilizers and pesticides so that they can increase crop yields. Number five. Some farmers use only natural pest control methods. Why do they do that? Well, so that they can produce organic crops. Last but not least, people like to buy organic farm produce. Why? In order that they can avoid food with chemicals. So now some students might wonder, what is the difference between so that and in order that and in order to? When we want to use in order to, we need to make sure that the subject of the two clauses stay the same so we can omit the second subject and change it to in order to. So let's take a look at the example. Okay, so at the top, farmers use chemical pesticides so that they can get higher crop yields. So we can see in the two clauses, they have the same subject. The they equals to farmers. And this is why I can actually change it to farmers use chemical pesticides in order to get higher crop yields. But when we compare it to the second example, we can see that the subject for the first clause is consumers, whereas for the second clause is farmers. And in this case, you cannot use in order to. You have to use so that and in order that, followed by subject verb. Okay, and that is the difference between so that, in order that, which is subordinator, and are in order to, which can be shortened to an infinitive, to plus verb, right? In order to get is the same as to get. Okay, and that is it for purpose adverbial clause.